I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. You love, you love, you love. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. You love, you love, you love. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, we were dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. You love, you love, you love. The way my lips feel on your body, we were moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. You love, you love, you love. I ain't got no time for romance, but baby I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready for that. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, we were dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. You love, you love, you love. The way my lips feel on your body, we were moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. You love, you love, you love. With every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, you love, you love, you love. With every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, you love, you love, you love. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you.
Hey, successful women. Okay. All right. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. If you're watching us in the replay, comment #replay for a chance to win an Amazon gift card in the replay. And hey to all my VIPs out there, you guys are killing it. Loving all of your engagement posts. They're like really, really fun. I love all that stuff. And hey to everyone on YouTube. We're also streaming to YouTube. So thanks for hanging out with us today. And my super bad business mama friend Paige is waiting in the comments with an Amazon gift card right now. So let her know that you are here. So today we have a woman who has been supporting me since day one. We met in a former coaching program, and she was the first member of this little group. And she was also the first lunch break live guest that I've ever had as well. Sailynn Doyle is known to be the fun business coach, and she teaches women how to build businesses with sustainable business strategies. So she is here to share why the impending recession should not scare you. So let me bring on Sailynn.
Hey.
Hey, Sailynn, there you are. Is your internet okay, you think?
Yes,
All right,
I'm
cool.
good.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. I will give you the floor, and I can't wait to hear what you say.
Awesome. So everyone is talking right now about the recession. And as someone who built her first business during the last recession, I thought I would give you some information on why you shouldn't be freaking out right now, if it's even on your radar. So I'll give you a little bit back history. I purchased a senior home care franchise in 2007 in Massachusetts, and I built that business to $1 million and a six-figure salary in 3 years. Well, that brought us right to 2010, about a year and a couple months after the 2008 recession began. And in order to build to that $1 million level and that six-figure salary, I was having to work 80 plus hour weeks. And I don't know about you, but 80 plus hour work weeks are not sustainable. And so 3 years into business, it was like, what is going on? I cannot continue mentally and physically at this level any longer. Something has to change. And so one of the things that I did was I met with a friend who was a business coach, and he told me I needed to do 3 things, and I went and did that. Well, when I started to do some of those things, that's when I really realized, like, oh, there was a recession out there. See, I was so focused on building my business, maintaining, making money, and just going forward that I was kind of clueless to everything going on in the world. And if you feel the same way, let us know in the comments, because I just pulled up the comments there. 80-hour work weeks are absolutely insane. Yes. But it's one of those things where sometimes you're like, so you have those blinders on that you're trying to build your business that you have no idea what's going on out there. And so when I started doing one of the things that he told me to do, I realized that, oh my gosh, like I had been seeing signs for the past year and a half, but I was so focused on other things that I wasn't doing what needed to be done. And so luckily, I was able to quickly do some pivots. And within a short period of time, I was able to actually transform my business into this amazing, sustainable, long-term business model that allowed me to build a multi-million-dollar business in part-time hours so I could live my life. And so today I'm giving you the 3 things that you must start doing in your business when these 3 things are going to help you in business long term. These are sustainable strategies that no matter what's going on in the world, whether the economy is booming or whether it's plummeting, these are things that you want to implement all the time. So that way your business can sustain and you are not working like a crazy person like I was. So let's go to number 1. So the first thing is you need to figure out what you want your dream lifestyle to look like. Now, this might seem totally crazy, but I just updated mine this morning. I like to update my morning routine every 90 days. Part of that is writing out my dream lifestyle. And so it's one of those things where, what do you want? If we don't know what we're working towards, then how are we going to ever know whether we achieved it? And that's a problem that a lot of adults and a lot of women really struggle with, because when was the last time someone said to you, what do you really want? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want your life to look like, right? Like, we don't have those conversations, it seems like, after college, right? Like, once you're not a kid anymore, those conversations go away. And so you got to figure out what you want. And then what you need to do is all of those overwhelming requests that come in every single day, right? Like the request from Katie, hey, can you be on my show? Kind of deal. The request from your kids' PTA and volunteer organizations and business opportunities and all of these different things, they come in at you every single day and you're trying to filter through them. And how you filter through them is you start saying yes to the ones that align with that dream lifestyle. So you can't just think like, okay, here's the request, can I make it happen? You have to think of whether the request aligns with what you want your dream to look like. If it does, you say yes. If it doesn't, use the sandwich technique. Positive, negative, positive, which is, thanks so much, Mary, for thinking of me. Unfortunately, right now, I'm laser focused on building my business. I truly appreciate the opportunity, but I have to decline. You might want to ask Sally, who I think would be a great fit for you. Keep it simple, keep it short. So that's number 1. Say no to everything that doesn't align. Say yes to everything that does. Number 2 is you have to accept help. Now, people usually think accepting help is more along the lines of in business, but it can be in your home life too. If you want to, have a business that supports your dream lifestyle and is actually sustainable, that you can continue for the long term and you're not constantly like running on high speed, you have to accept help. There are no big business, multi-millionaire people, women out there that don't have help. So let me give you a couple examples of that. One of the things one of my people in my Facebook community said to me was, after listening to me, she said on the last Amazon Prime Day, she bought a Roomba. She has pets. And she said that small purchase right there is going to keep me from having to vacuum my house every single day. time saver equals more time for her to grow her business. Yay! Or do something fun. It could be hiring a housekeeper, setting your groceries up on Instacart, doing grocery pickup, whatever that is. In your business, it could be hiring a VA, it could be a contractor, part-time, full-time, whatever it may be. But as women, we need to learn how to accept help. This is huge. Accepting help doesn't mean that you're not able to do it. I'm giving you permission to say, I need help. And that is okay. So if you haven't accepted help in your life or business yet, don't feel like you can't. It could be paid help, unpaid help. It could be someone that you want to hire, but you need to put those plans in place to make it happen. Now, obviously, you want to know, like, when is the time to accept help? So as we move into number 3, this was the key step that allowed me to survive building a business through the recession. You have to know your numbers. Plain and simple, I am not a numbers person. It is like one of those things that just blows my mind. But what I did was I started crunching numbers with some neighboring franchise owners, and every single quarter we would sit down and we would meet and we would talk about them and we would compare. And so what was key there was I was being held accountable because I had to show up to that meeting. I had a support system of 2 other women helping me work through those numbers. And then also, I was getting a better understanding of what was going on in my business. There was no more like, feelings in your gut of, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Because the numbers tell a story. And that story allows you to make decisions. So one of the numbers that I saw in my business was that when I first started, people were hiring me. It was a home care business for senior citizens in their home. They were hiring me for like the nicey nice services, companion for mom, taking dad out shopping, doing activities, like those kinds of things. But as the recession really started to kick in that first year or two, right? So that was 9 and 10. If I had looked at my numbers earlier, I would have seen that the services that were the nicey nice ones, those companionship, were going away, and people were now hiring me only for the things that they really needed, like bathing, grooming, dressing, meal prep, medication, those kinds of things. So my numbers clearly showed me what was going on in the world, how it was affecting my business. And so once I understood that, I was able to pivot. These are the things that you need to do. And when you do these 3 things ongoing all the time, there is no need to freak out about an impending recession because people are going to still continue making money. You just have to be able to make sure that your business is positioned in order for you to continue being one of those people that makes money. Maybe you pivot your services or your products. Maybe you pivot your marketing, whatever it is, but you are responding based upon looking at your numbers, how your support team is helping you, right? And you're laser focused on doing just what supports your dream lifestyle. And you're not saying yes to things out of guilt or feeling like you have to. So those are the 3 things that I did. I started in 2010. It took me 2 years to get where I really wanted to be. In October of 2012, so 10 years ago from this month, I was able to leave my business for 30 days straight, travel in our RV down to Florida, leave the RV there for the winter, and go back and forth. That was the start of my freedom. And so once I started doing those 3 things in my business, I could build as big as I wanted because I had those key systems in place. So I know we've had some comments and some thoughts coming in, Katie. So let me look through these real quick. If you want to come back on with me, we can kind of go through those things. Yes, recession is the buzzword right now, but there really is no need to freak out about it if you're doing the things in your business that are going to move your business forward and have you prepared. I'm so glad that someone said, I'm not afraid or worried. Yay. I don't know who that is, but yay. I love that. 80-hour work week, horrible. I can relate to not paying attention to what's going on in the world. Oh my gosh, me too. I was in that bubble. Long-term wins, yes. Insane high achiever syndrome is what I call it. Ooh, that's a good one, right? High achiever. Let's see here. Working on this, say yes to what aligns. Yes, business, accepting help. These are all so amazing. I love, love, love this. So one person said the numbers thing drives me crazy. I need a bookkeeping support system. If this is your pain point, this is like one of the first things you want to accept help with. When I hired in October 2012, in order for me to leave my business, I had reached out to a friend months prior who had been responsible for the accounts receivable at a huge Boston hospital. She had left her job. I asked her to come and work for me for those 30 days when I was gone. It went really well. She stayed, and she's still actually there in the business even after I sold. It's been 10 years. And so if that is something that is not in your zone of genius or something that you don't like doing, that's where you need to get help. And bookkeeping services now are so cheap. You can hire a business, you can hire a person, you can do whatever works for you. Katie, did you see any other comments? Paige says, I've been thinking about pivoting my services. Paige, if you want to put another comment in there or reach out to me, I'm totally open to talking to you about that, and we can go. Major permission. So as women, I think that's what we struggle with. We need permission to let go of the things that do not align. Yes. Katie.
All right, great. That was, thank you so much. And, I like the major permission one, because I feel like sometimes when you're an entrepreneur and you think you're supposed to do everything yourself and you have trouble outsourcing, right? I mean, outsourcing is not a bad thing to do, especially if it's not something that doesn't serve you, like serve your mental health. Like if it's something that's just going to drive you crazy, like why not outsource that to somebody who actually likes doing that stuff? Like some people are total numbers nerds, and I'm not.
Me either.
And they love it. So why not, give it to the experts? They could use the work, I actually think that's something I may actually start looking into now. That I'm glad that you were on today, because I think that might be something that I might want to be doing pretty soon. So thank you.
Yes,
for that.
definitely. Well, and one of the best pieces of advice, and I'll leave this with you guys, I got when I was researching the purchase of my franchise, is the owner of our Rhode Island franchise said to me, you want to delegate everything that you're not good at or everything you don't like to do. And I just thought that was like so simple. And when I actually started working in my zone of genius daily, meaning like the things that I love to do and the things that I'm good at, that's when you feel more productive. You get excited to get out of bed. You're running a business that is just like on fire because you're doing what you love. When you have to do all those other tasks that you hate, that's when you start to resent your business and you start to struggle. So,
and it takes you so much longer to get things done because you're procrastinating, and you're just like, you let yourself get distracted from doing it. So it makes your day take so much longer as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Saylynn's going to be in the comments. If anyone else has more questions, Saylynn's link is in the video description. So check out her link. And thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to be here. And I just want to say you're doing an amazing job bringing so much like value to this group. So awesome job.
Thank you, Sailynn. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Okay, guys. So that Saylynn's awesome. I love Sailynn. She and I chit chat back and forth a lot, and she's one of those things where I say, even if some people are afraid to get into the DMs and talk to people, but it doesn't always have to be about selling your product. You could make relationships like this. Like I love chit chatting with Sailynn. I'm from Massachusetts. She's from Massachusetts. She lives in Florida now, where she's warm, and now I'm cold. But these are the kind of things that can happen. Like when you're in the DMs with people, you can just start creating little relationships with people. And I love chatting with Sailynn. So that was fun. So awesome. Thank you so much, Sailynn. So, all right, now let's get into what I want to talk to you today. So why is it that I'm a business coach, right, who teaches foundational business systems in my course, but I've been on here like almost every week now talking about mindset, right? Now, why would I do that? I believe, and I didn't always want to believe this, but I do believe now that having a really solid mindset as an entrepreneur is probably the number one thing that you should be working on. It's really important that we focus on our mind management because we fail a lot, right? Entrepreneurs fail a lot more than most people do or are willing to do, right? You have to have grit. You have to have your mind straight. You have to have your mindset strong in order to stay in the game long enough to reap those benefits of a really successful business. And even when you are successful, you still have to practice your mindset because things are going to break. Things are going to go wrong. You still have to have that focus and that clarity. It's like starting a diet. You don't think you can just eat one salad and you're going to be healthy for the rest of your life, right? We know that's not true. So mindset is a lifestyle change, a new habit that has to be formed and practiced every day to reap the benefits of a successful business. It's the consistency in which you work on your mindset, which will allow you to make good decisions for your business and then take the massive action that's required to achieve success. Okay. So what I want to share with you today is something that I call my $1 million mindset, because it ties into a little bit of what I've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, the future self training, and then last week with massive action. Okay. And for me, I love this name, the $1 million mindset, the next level version of me with the $1 million mindset. And I want to share with you my $1 million mindset. And what I would encourage you to do is to create, if you haven't already, your own $1 million mindset as well. Okay. So what is it, right? Basically, I've made a list of things that I'm committing to for myself. This is how I reframe all the things because I want to achieve my goals. I want to get to where I'm going, right? And so this is how I categorize it so that I can remind myself like, oh yeah, that's my $1 million mindset. This is how I'm creating the $1 million version of me because that's the ultimate goal. Yes, build a business. Yes, and impact clients, right? All of those things. But the bigger picture is the evolution and the growth over time. I want to see what's possible for me. I want to stretch myself. So many of us have that calling, that calling for more. And I've always had that calling. And when we don't answer that calling, we end up feeling small for ignoring like the nudge, right? We can either tap into it or we can deny and hide from it. But then we feel like we're missing something, right? Like there's that part of us that's like, what is that? Right? I don't want to stay in my comfort zone. I want to see what's possible for me. I want to stretch myself. I want to grow. So this is where the concept of the $1 million mindset comes from. So I want to read you mine, and then hopefully you can make your own. All right. And first of all, before we do anything, right, this is the first part, is that I make a commitment to myself. This is my commitment to me that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I'm practicing following through on my word, right? Because that is the most relationship, the one that I have with myself. Because then I know when I say I'm going to do something or I write something on my calendar, that that's what I'm going to do. All right. And number one is that I always have my own back. I always have my own back. I'm not available for talking bad about myself. If I make a mistake or if I fail, I don't make it mean anything about me, right? I go to curiosity. I wonder, why that happened. Like, how can I change that for the next time? What am I learning? Right? Curiosity. It's a little bit looser than like self-judgment, right? Or I go to compassion. Like, of course that happened. You're new. You're learning, right? Of course that outcome happened. So curiosity and compassion. So those are the two emotions that I've been going to so that I can support myself, right? Like I have my own back. I would support myself like anyone else would support me. Because the only reason, like if we think about fear of failure, the only reason we're afraid to fail is because we make it mean something is wrong with me if I fail. Or that, or like, what are other people going to think about me if I failed? Like I said I would do this and then I didn't do it. Like the outcome wasn't what I wanted, right? But it's actually the fear of our own self-judgment, because it doesn't stick to me or land with me if I don't believe it, right? If I don't allow it. I get to make it mean whatever I want it to mean, right? So that's where fear of failure comes from. It's your own self-judgment that you're actually afraid of. So if you get to redefine the failure. You get to make it mean whatever it is that you want it to mean. You don't need to be afraid of that. You get to have your own back no matter what, right? I support me no matter what. Okay? The next one is that I'm willing to feel discomfort. I'm willing to feel it. Because I used to live my life, I was always a very shy person in public, right? My family wouldn't think that, but in public I was, right? I always used to make discomfort mean retract, right? When discomfort showed up in the way of embarrassment or humiliation or fear or whatever the discomfort was, I used to make it mean retreat. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay in your cave, right? The primal brain, stay in your cave. If I'm willing to feel discomfort, I now make it mean that I'm on the right path, the path forward, because it's leading me in the direction of what I want, of my dreams, of what lights me up, of what I most want, right? Like, yes, I have to feel a little discomfort to get there, but on the other side, right, that's what we want, right? And it's like going to the gym. All right, use this analogy, like going to the gym. There's some mornings that you don't want to wake up, right? Then you go and you show up and you do the weights and you do the circuit training and you do the cardio. And at the end of it, you're like, yay me, right? I did it. I did what I said I'm going to do. I followed through, because on the other side is what I most want, a healthy body, right? Someone who's in shape. And it's the same with your business. You have to be willing to go through that discomfort. So that's part of my $1 million mindset, that I'm willing to feel the discomfort. Okay. And the next thing is, I don't make the failure mean anything about me, right? Just like the red light. Remember last week with the red light going to the grocery store? The red light doesn't mean I'm a terrible grocery store planner, right? I'm terrible at going to the grocery store. I should never go to the grocery store because I got a red light, right? Or I hit a construction zone, right? Who do I think I am going to the grocery store and getting a red light? It took way longer than I thought it was going to take to get there, right? I don't make it mean anything about me. And it's the same thing when I fail, right? When I go on a live and I stumble over my words, right? Or forget what I'm saying, or I can't manage the chat properly or whatever, right? I don't make it mean anything about me. I don't make it mean I'm a bad person. I don't make it mean I'm terrible at what I do. No, I make it mean I'm learning, that I'm human, that I have 50% positive emotions and 50% negative emotions, right? I show up authentically and I don't make the failure mean anything about me, okay? And the next one is, I keep going. I just keep going, right? We're not perfect. There's going to be days where I'm not going to go to the gym, right? Like, oh gosh, like I had a bad day, right? But the next day I get up, okay? But I keep going, I keep going, I keep going, right? I keep swimming, like in Finding Nemo. I just keep swimming, right? I keep going in the direction of where it is that I'm headed. And that's the massive action. That is what I choose. I choose to keep going. I choose no matter what instead of as long as. And what does that mean, right? That means I don't make what I'm going to do based on something else. Like I'm only going to show up for my lives, as long as I feel good, right? As long as I'm feeling good about it. Or as long as my kids didn't keep me up all last night. Like I'm going to show up as long as, right? I choose instead that I'm going to show up no matter what, because I made a commitment to me. So I choose no matter what over as long as. And you can use that for any part of your life, right? Like I'm going to do this as long as my husband compliments me and he makes me feel good and he supports me, right? No, doesn't matter. I'm going to do this no matter what, because I got me and I made a commitment to me. This is strengthening the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay. And the thought I'm committed to having is it's always working, right? This is what I choose to believe, that it's always working, even when it doesn't seem like it's working. When we're working on like building the engagement for a Facebook group, right? Like this Facebook group, right? Or we're building up our Facebook page or our Instagram page or, our DM conversations. Like how many DM conversations do you want to have per day, right? When people reach out to me, right? I think it's working. Even if I don't think it's an ideal person for my course or my group or whatever reaching out to me, it's still working, right? I'm magnetizing people to me. Somebody likes a post, it's working, right? And you can start to stack the evidence in this way by saying it's always working. It's working in my favor, because that's the way that your brain works. It's guided by how you see what it is that you're doing, right? Your brain will start to find all of the ways that it's working. Just like the opposite is true. Like if you say to yourself, oh, it's not working. I'm getting the wrong people DMing me. It's not working. Well, guess what your brain's going to do? It's going to start to go out and find all the ways that it's not working. It's going to show you that evidence. It's going to start stacking that evidence. But if you say it's working, guess what your brain does? It goes out and it finds all the ways that it's working. And that's what keeps you in action. What keeps you in action? It keeps you in that massive action, right? To keep trying, to keep failing forward and not making it mean anything about you. It keeps you in that winning energy. Like that's why we like to celebrate wins, right? Because everything can be a win, right? Put a recent win that you've had in the chat. I want to know it. Celebrate what it is that you've accomplished this week or last month or last 6 months, whatever it is, right? Or maybe you're new, or maybe it's not going so well in your business, but celebrate that you're here, that you made the time to watch this training. The fact that you're here right now for this training is a win. That says something about you. It says that you want to win, that you're showing up, right? That you're so excited to build your business. You're trying, you're taking action, you're building, right? Maybe in the beginning you were afraid to talk to people and do DMs, and now you're DMing people, right? It's like this winning energy, and it stacks. It starts to stack. So celebrate every single win, okay? And then another part of my $1 million mindset is that I'm willing to feel. Okay, I said I'm willing to feel discomfort, but I'm also willing to feel my emotions, right? And take care of my human. That's what I call me, my human. And sometimes we do have things that come up, right? Like we feel emotional, right? I'm not the most emotional person in the world, but I still feel emotional, right? And things come up. And I think, okay, what is it that my body needs? Well, maybe my body just needs to go for a walk. It could be that simple, right? Maybe I'm just going to take a little walk and clear my head and take care of my human. Maybe I've been working all morning and I'm like, you didn't have lunch. I do that a lot. Make sure I have something to eat so that my head is straight, so that I feel good. I get hydrated. Take care of my human, and I'm willing to feel. I don't ignore those feelings. I'm willing to feel them and take care of the problems, right? So that I can keep going. Okay. And the last part of my $1 million mindset is that I stay aware. I notice my thoughts. There's an incredible practice to put into practice every day to do some self-coaching. All right. And I'm not going to give you all the details about it now because that's like a whole other training. But I strongly suggest you get a coach to talk to you about this because there is a model, a coaching model, to help you see your brain patterns and thoughts. And it'll help you to understand what you're believing about something, right? And that's how you stay aware. There's a way that your brain connects circumstances and emotions and thought, and it goes through the same exact cycle every single time, okay? Like I said, that's a whole nother training. But just know that it's always our thoughts that create our emotions, that drive our actions, that create our results. Okay, it is always in that pattern. So if you are not getting the results that you want, you need to be aware of what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Okay, you always have control. And the model, that coaching model teaches you that control so you can self-coach. So that's why I like to say I like to stay aware, because we've all had periods in our lives when we're not aware, right? You have the blinders on and you're kind of just going through the motions, but not anymore. I'm in the $1 million mindset. I stay aware, I stay open, I stay focused, I stay engaged. And I'm willing to see it and not make it mean anything about me. We know our brain has the primal brain, and then there's the prefrontal cortex, or the higher brain. And that caveman lower brain wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and look for efficiency, or just to be lazy. So that's what your primal brain is doing to keep you alive. So if you're not aware, your higher brain, the prefrontal cortex, delegates down to the caveman brain so that you go back on autopilot. You're going to do those habits that you always did because that's what you've always done. And that's how you stay in the comfort zone. But when you're aware, you can choose differently. You can choose that what you most want rather than what you've always done. So that's really a key component, is staying aware and doing some self-coaching. All right. Learning self-coaching is huge. It helps you navigate through yourself and like get out of your own way. Because that's what stops us from getting to the goals that we want. It's not anybody else, it's us. We get in our own way. So that's what I call my $1 million mindset. And I would encourage you to create your $1 million mindset as well. What is going to carry you to the next version of you, the next level of you, right? You're going to take massive action, and you have to take massive action if you're going to get to your goal, okay? You're taking massive action, which means you take the action until you get the result that you desire, right? And you just keep going. You don't make every obstacle mean that I should stop, an excuse to quit, right? Oh, it's not working. We keep going until we get what we want, and it works. It works. This is how people are successful. You get the expected result by continuing to show up and be messy. Aim for like B- work, right? We're not looking for perfection. And perfection is actually a way of hiding, okay? We take action and we keep going, and we don't make it mean anything about us, because that is how we make our dreams come true. We create the businesses that we want. We create that impact that we want. We get to become the next version of ourselves, right? The next level version of ourselves, which is what it's all about. It's about that evolution over time. Okay. Does anybody resonate with this? Do you guys kind of know what I'm talking about, right? Can you see how this could make a huge difference in the way that you show up for yourself, right? Are you in massive action and you're going out there and you're putting yourself out there? You're creating, you're getting out there. Because if you let your primal brain, your caveman part of your brain take over, like we'd all like stay in our caves and we'd be like eating ice cream and watching Netflix, right? Stay in our cave. So we need to start letting the prefrontal cortex, or the higher brain, take over and start making our choices and write them down and set them in stone to get you a little bit closer to your millions. Okay? That is it for today, ladies. Thank you to Sailynn Doyle for training us today. I loved having Sailynn on. Saylynn's link is in the description. My link with a 4-minute video of how you can get to your first 10K months is there as well. Congrats to the Amazon gift card winner. Please shoot me an email so I can get you your gift card. And you guys have an amazing and great finish to your week.